Road accidents claim thousands of lives yearly in the West African region, and as part of measures to create awareness on safe road usage and curb road crashes, the West Africa Road Safety Organization was formulated.
And May the 8th of every year is set aside by the organization to promote road safety in the West African region. Now, the recent report by the National Bureau of Statistics revealed that no fewer than 1,306 Nigerians died in road accidents in the fourth quarter of 2017. And the NBS said that 1,200 of the 1,306 Nigerians who died were adults, while the remaining 106 were children.
Now, the report said 2,489 road crashes occurred during the said period. Meanwhile, the Federal Road Safety Corps says 456 people died and 3,404 others were injured in 826 accidents recorded nationwide in January 2018.
As the Warsaw commemorates this day today, attention is being drawn once again to safety on our roads. Well, at least for once, it's good to have the statistics to begin to have a mind picture of what is really going on. We have joining us the Lagos State Sector Commander of the Road Safety Corps, Hygienist Omeje. Good morning.
You're welcome.
And nice to see you.
Thank you very much, Mike.
All right, let me say, you know, in Nigeria, we say happy weekend, happy new month, happy everything, happy. That's why Nigerians are just happy people. So
because we are happy people.
Exactly. So happy West African Road Safety Day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Now, we understand that Nigeria was very instrumental to this West African organization, which is commendable. But let's come to the real facts here. The number of road crashes and so on. When you make comparisons, sometimes the number of road crashes in Nigeria seem to be very, very high comparative to these other countries in West Africa.
Of course. You also don't look at the numbers in isolation.
Okay.
Look at it vis-a-vis other variables also. Okay. If you also compare our economy with these other nations, our economy is bigger. And that simply means that you have more vehicles in Nigeria.
More activity.
More road activities go on in Nigeria, more than any of these countries. What is the population of Niger? What is the population of Togo compared to Lagos alone? You know, so you also look at the population and the vehicular density in these countries. You know that yes, what you are getting in Nigeria is just commensurate with the level of activities going on, and I think that accounts for it.
Okay. So what was the purpose of setting up Warsaw in the first place in 2008? To which purpose, first off, and are there even West African roads that?
Yeah, you remember that there's a free trade and movement across the West African sub-region. You can get to Ghana. Most of the vehicles you see in Lagos do not just start in Lagos and end in Lagos or any other part of the country. But going specifically to looking at the historical perspective of Warsaw, in 2008, Nigeria spearheaded the formation of this sub-regional body. The whole essence is to bring the West African states together and have an umbrella road safety organization that will promote and reinforce road safety activities in this West African sub-region. And Nigeria, the big brother that we are, we had to spearhead that. Don't also forget that the Nigerian road safety came into being in 1988. So we have been in existence, and because we are not an island, we needed to encourage other West African organizations also to have their own lead agency road safety, which is actually what the United Nations advocates. It might also interest you to note that as we speak today, Nigeria has the best road safety lead agency in the whole of Africa. and the World Bank acknowledges that and have always used Nigeria as a model for the other African countries to take a cue from. So if we are really having that lead role as the lead road safety, traffic management and safety administration agency in the whole Africa, then it also behoves on us to carry our West African brothers along that same line also. Vehicles cross from Ghana to Nigeria and from Nigeria to Ghana, Togo and the likes too. So it is also important that we are all on the same page. So the man does not come from Ghana and come here and constitute a menace, and the man in Nigeria does not get to Ghana and constitute a menace. So I think that was just it. So it's all about promoting and reinforcing road safety activities in all those countries. Nigeria have continued to encourage all these other countries also to have their own national road safety organizations, just like FRSC. And so when you now have this national road safety organization, there is need for a table where all of us will meet, share ideas and experiences, and encourage one another.
Okay. When it comes to the issue of sharing, collaboration between these agencies, when every country has its own different, I wonder how you harmonize and collaborate together for that understanding, because each of these, for the Francophone countries, they have their own style of doing things, and each country has its own style, the Anglophone and all of that. So in all of these differences and peculiarities, how difficult or challenging is it for all of them to come together to harmonize? And
that's why that's actually even calls for the need for regional bodies like this, so that you'll be able to harmonize. One of the achievements of WASO has been to bring a template that all of us can even identify with, especially in the area of even collecting accident data or road traffic crash data and reporting, so that what I am reporting is in line with what you are reporting. We have a common template. Then we also look at the various regulations and also begin to fine-tune our regulations, so that we will all be speaking from the same side of the mouth. I will not be saying this and you'll be saying a different thing. So that is the whole essence of having a regional body like that. And one thing that WASO has also been able to do is that having asserted itself internationally also as a sub-regional road safety organization, they are now encouraging all these other African countries, sub-African countries, to also have their own body like that. So at a point in time, you discover that you are coming from your own end, or these other people are coming, and as Africa, we will all sit down together and be able to harmonize this. When it comes to issue of traffic rules and regulations, the basic tenets are the same. It's only that when you have slight difference, for example, you know that there was a time our steering was on the right hand, and later it came to the left. But if you look at the traffic signs, it is an international convention. It's the Geneva Convention. The traffic signs are the same everywhere. What you see in Nigeria as a road traffic sign is what you will also see in Ghana, is what you see in any other country. So these things are the same. So we need to also do it. And the whole global focus is also the same in terms of, look, it's all about bringing down the number of fatalities on our roads.
And talking about bringing down fatalities, from the statistics we reeled out earlier, and like you said earlier, it seems Nigeria has the highest statistics among the West African countries. And many would wonder, and that was why I asked earlier, if there are West African roads. I wanted you to establish it because it seems to many that the West African roads on Nigerian side are in deplorable conditions, while it's not so on the other side of the border of other countries.
Every nation have their own challenge. The bigger your head, the bigger the headache. we have to admit that the bigger your head, the bigger the headache. You know, so I think that also accounts for all those things. And even though Nigeria is a big country with big economy, we also know that that economy is also, there are so many things contending with that resources. You don't, everything, it cannot just be diverted to the road. There are other things, the healthcare and all other basic aspects of
African
life.
Charter made provision for that a considerable chunk of national budgets must be dedicated to road maintenance. Am I correct?
I agree.
Is that being done by Nigerian government, at least?
That is one thing that organizations like this are also pushing for. FRSC has also continued to push for it. That look, even in terms of road, in our national budget, a certain percentage should be dedicated for this, and we are making headway now. In recent, this we are beginning to see FRS, the road safety now, getting more involved in the issues of road construction and road designs and ensuring that the safety contents of the road are there. Hitherto, it has always been, oh, you have built a road, but what of the road furniture? What are of those things that make the road what it is? And that's why today Nigeria have a signage plant. We are among the group of countries that can now export road signs. We have, yes, we have a plant in Abuja, in Gwagwalada, that can produce traffic signs. So when you now award contract in Nigeria today, you need to make recourse to FRSC to be able to have those signs, for you to erect these signs where they are supposed to be. We are still pushing for more. The government has been very supportive, especially this present administration, in terms of improving our budgetary allocations to the issues that has to do with road safety. But much more still needs to be done. Recently, also, even in the United Nations, there was a motion and moved by and supported by many nations that, look, a certain percentage of the national budget is setting up road safety trust fund somehow. And Nigeria is also a charter to that signatory.
But has that commenced anywhere?
It's on the pipeline.
Okay.
It's in the pipeline. Rome was not built in a day.
But we hope the pipeline is not blown.
No. It won't blow. And that's why at WASO level, we're also pushing it. Whatever, Nigeria being the lead agency and the lead country, we led that organization for the first 8 years.
Wow,
yes, the first president was the former commercial and chief executive, Chief Chidoka. He led the country in the state 2014 when he was appointed a minister. And the present commercial, Dr. Boboyo Yemi, took over and led the organization till 2016 when a new president was now elected. Squadron leader Conte from Mali. So it's like that. But it's important here to note that since the inception of WASO, they have been able to push for so many things. The area of capacity building among member states, a good example being the Nigeria and Sierra Leone relationship, where we had to train. Some of our officers were sent to even Sierra Leone to midwife their own national road safety organization, as it were, and also build the capacity of the personnel there. So you see this
skills transfer.
Yeah, skill transfer and capacity building among member nations. And you also see some policies being harmonized. I give you an example. The issue of retroreflective tape. You remember when we advocated for retroreflective tape on trucks and all vehicles?
No, that's reflectors.
Yes, reflectors, as you put it. So it's a initiative from WASO, and it's been pushed in all the African. If you go to Ghana, they've gone also far in it. Every truck well tipped, so that even if the truck breaks down on the road, you notice that you will not run into it. And that's what Nigeria was also pushing that time when we were also doing, and we're still on it.
Okay. On a day like this, yes, how best is a day like this commemorated?
Well, what we would do is to step up awareness by way of public enlightenment, motor park rallies, road shows, going out there, taking the message to the doorstep of the people. And in Lagos, that is what we were doing. This morning at the Bega Motor Park, Ojudu Bega, we're going to have a sensitization rally. That sensitization rally will be preceded by a motorized roadshow that's going to take off from the FRS state headquarters at Ojudu Bega there. We'll move towards Ogba and Agege and back again all through Agidingbi and sharing flyers to the motoring public. Then we will eventually converge back again at Bega, where we have been able to mobilize. We are in partnership with the leadership of National Union of Road Transport Workers and that axis to bring in the drivers together and all stakeholders together for us to be able to talk to them and sensitize them more on the need for proper attitudinal predisposition to the use of the road, because that is actually where the problem is. Most people will always say state of the road, state of the vehicle, but the most important thing is the attitude of the man that is using the road and using the road. After all,
the vehicle doesn't drive itself.
The vehicle does not drive itself. So that's what we're doing. And we are also using this period to call on corporate bodies to see road safety as a veritable platform where they can actually extend their corporate social responsibility. The reason being that the life you can save today might just be yours. As we are here, our family members are in one form of mode of transportation or the other, going to one place or the other. So there is need that corporate bodies should team up and with the Federal Road Safety Corps.
But there has been some form of level of teaming up.
There has been. I must be honest with you. Today, there is a project that called Safety Cube on schools, which Total is helping us to pioneer by bringing materials, textbooks, and some safety items for us to drop in schools and use it. We call it, of course, instructional materials that we use in schools to teach, because now we've been able to, especially and in all the West African sub-region, we'll be able to, in Nigeria particularly, push road safety education into the curriculum of the primary and junior secondary. So today we are catching them young. So it's a matter of time.
We used to have road safety clubs.
We still have. Thank you. We still have road safety clubs.
Being a member of that.
And I remember some of you did your CD with us during your use of it. So it's still there. Yes, it's still there. We still have road safety clubs at both the primary and the secondary level. And when you finish, you can still do your NYSC CD with us.
All right. Sector Commander, Lagos State. Sector Commander, of course, the Federal Road Safety Corps, Hajinus Umeje. Thank you very much for your time and happy Warsaw Day again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Yes.
Right.